saying hello, anyone? So we have to tell our story. Oh, sorry. Konnichiwa. That's exciting. Genki. Who else is coming in? Ah, there we are. Hello. I was early. Clearly very surprising for everybody. Wow. Hey, so hello, Maxine from Brighton, and Rowan and Karen. Hi. Oh, I hope I'm saying these right. Terrible with names, aren't we? On these. We have I keep saying snail. It's a whale. We have a whale and then a snail. Look how amazing. Thank you, Mum. Oh, Mummy, these. So cool. Who else have we got? Who's here? Emma and Ellis in the Highlands. Awesome. Hi from Nikki and Thomas in Cornwall. Hello. How are you? Are you ready to come sail with me? Who else is here? A few more people popping in. Yes, I always still there. Oh, I'm so excited to see you. I like the fact that this is going live to Japan. Who else is popping in? Ace. So, you're getting ready, I hope. Maybe you have, as I have, all sorts of crazy gubbins around you. Or maybe you're sensible and sat down and just watched this. But if not, you may have a whale and some snails. Or maybe just a shell or something like that to be your snail. Not many people have a snail around their house, do they? You might even have, like me, some stars, perhaps. A blackboard. Have you got a blackboard? Maybe you might have some sharks. You probably got better sharks than me. I have dolphins, but they are sharks. And fish. I have some boats. And even some children. And a fire engine. Have you got any extra characters to get involved with your story? Say hi to Henry and Claudia. Hello. Looking forward to exploring with you. Are you ready? Maybe you've also got some blue and yellow fabric. I just run around the house and find all these crazy things. So maybe you're doing the same. Or maybe you're not. Sit back and relax and enjoy me being a crazy headless chicken. And anybody else want to say hey before I get started? I'm ready. Oh. I feel I've made this very complicated this week, but it's going to be good. I'm sure it is. Are you ready for this? So, everybody in their seats or jumping around, get yourselves ready for the snail and the whale. Okay, so without further ado, I think we'll get started. Are you ready? So, this is a tail. Oh, I'm so excited already. It's my favourite. Right, let me get my snail ready. This is a tail of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. Now, this is a rock as black as soot. And this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffed and sighed. The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to snail. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. Oh, I like my funny mistakes. Are you ready? These are the other snails in the flock. There we are. Who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet. Don't wriggle Still. Stay put. The tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed and cried, I've got it. I'll hitch a lift. This is the trail of the tiny snail. A silvery trail that looped and curled and said, you joining in? Lift wanted around the world. Now, this is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale, immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, come sail with me. That way. This is the sea, so wild and free. Get off, snail. This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs and far-off lands, with fiery mountains and golden sands. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Ooh. Are you splashing? Maybe you've got your sea too. These are the caves beneath the waves. Ooh. Where are they? Where's stripy fish? Stripy fish. And stripy fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam round the whale and the snail on his tail. Oh, that's better. Whew. This is the sky. So vast and high, sometimes sunny. Oh, it's nice out here. And blue and warm. Sometimes filled with, what is it? What's it filled with? A thunderstorm! With zigzag lightning, flashing and frightening. The tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Oh dear. Oh, poor thing. And she gazed at the sky, the sea, the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all. She said to the whale, feel so small. Then came the day the whale lost his way. These are the speedboats running a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with an ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to the shore. Oh dear, poor whale. And this is the tide slipping away. And this is the whale lying beached in a bay. Quick, off the sand, back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move on land. I'm too big, moaned the whale. Snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. She goes. Where's she off to? I wonder. This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. And this is a teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the board, as black as soot. And this is the snail with the itchy foot. What's she doing here? A snail, a snail. The teacher turns pale. Ooh, ooh. Look, say the children. It's leaving a trail. This is the trail of the tiny snail. A silvery trail saying, what does it say? Can you read it? Save the whale. Oh, these are the children running from school, fetching the firemen, digging a pool. Quick, oh, poor whale, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. Oh dear, poor whale. It's not nice being beached in a bay. This is the tide coming into the bay. Hooray! And these are the villagers shouting, hooray! Hooray! As the whale and the snail travel safely away. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock. There they are. Who said, how time's flown. And where are you hiding? He's escaped. And haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. Whoosh, whoosh. And of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. Oh, there we go. Did you enjoy your exploring? Did you join in? Did you make waves with your blue? Or find a whale or a snail or two? I enjoyed that. That was good. And it's my favourite, I think, Snail and the Whale. It's such a lovely story as well. A story about a very unexpected pair. And what a difference you can make even if you are a tiny, small snail and you think that you're not very important. You can do amazing things. So, what have we been making this week? I'll show you some of the things we've been creating. So, yes, as I said, I made little puppets versions of mine, but in the lolly stick version, they just didn't seem the same as this amazing whale. Thank you, Oma. So I made this one long so I could add my whale onto the snails, onto the whale's tail. And even a black rock. So you might want to make something similar at home from your lolly sticks if you're getting in the habit with those. It's always fun. And as I showed you in the post, perhaps, if you're watching, I even decided, well, considering we were thinking about the sea and recycling, I had to go recycling something plastic from my kitchen into my little mini set. So I made my sea and my sand and even added my wall of rocks and my black rock so that my whale could arrive at my rock ready, but also later on in the story be beached on the bay. All in one tiny plastic tray from the microwave. So maybe you can make the same. I was saying as well in my post, this one I used nail varnish again because normal paint might just peel off and not work. So have a go. Perhaps that might be a fun thing to make. Anybody out there feeling creative? And anything else I like? There were loads of great ideas as well, weren't there? Maybe somebody had a go at making a storytelling wheel. I love that idea of a paper plate with 4 sections of different parts of the story. And this one particularly, this story is really great for that. There's different settings all the way through. And perhaps if you're working at home at the moment, you're off school and you're thinking about how you can use this, there are so many great ideas out there for how to use these stories. Even very little ones and older ones as well. Thinking about all the different parts of the story. You could even research the sorts of places that the snail might have visited. So there's loads of great ways that you can use this story at home in different ways. So I'd love to hear about anything you're getting up to with it. And I really can't decide what we're going to read next week because we had Highway Rat Leftover Choice, which could be a very good option. But then I have so many more Julia Donaldson books. Perhaps you should choose. Unless I give another option. So maybe you've got some ideas of ones that you might really like to hear next time. Oh, I've just spotted. Oh my goodness. Hi from Keem. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. And Michael. Hello. Maybe you joined us just after. I'm sorry I didn't say hello before. Stand and deliver. This is my little boy's one of his favourites at the moment. Definitely. And I have to be the horse. Around and around and around. Hard work, but pretty good fun too. And I did remember, actually, I wanted to share this with you as well. I don't know whether anybody has ever come across this before. It kind of looks like a copy version of Snail and the Whale, but it's a completely different story. And an amazing mindfulness story called Crab and a Whale. This is another one of my little boy's favourites. Even though it's not Snail and the Whale, he knows these stories really, really well. So this might be a nice one to share with you really quickly in between at some point, or even just to pass on to you, because it's such a lovely story about how, again, a tiny crab helps the whale by helping him to stay calm and not get stressed out by being beached on a bay, and helping him to breathe. So practicing mindfulness and staying really calm and using his breath. So it's a really nice story. Perhaps I'll share that in a separate little video for people who might want to see. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was really lovely to see you all again. And I will see you next week. Let's see what we might want to read. So have a lovely week. Enjoy sailing away. Take care.